I might like that we both had dorky opening bits.
We did.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
Hello. I'm not even going to bother with this right now. I realized just for this bit, I ruined the early part of this for me. All right, that's fine.
What did you ruin?
I was like, I don't have a place to put this. I have no stand for it. It's fine. All right.
I mean, you only need like a stand this big for a lightsaber, though, right?
You would think.
Because all of that electricity is. It's not electricity. It's kyber juice. What would you call it?
Yeah, it's kyber juice. That's what
kyber juice. Yeah, which is what 10% of high C fruit punch is. Well, high C ecto cooler. 10% kyber juice.
Yeah, we'll let people shuffle in whatever. Oh, I don't know what just fell there.
Something fell. You know what? You need a stand for.
I'm just gonna put it away. I'm gonna put it away because it'll break, and that's bad.
That's fair.
By the way,
people of the world, if you need. Go ahead.
The first thing I did after we were done was put batteries in this, and then immediately, like, it makes noise even when you're not using it. Like, it's off right now, but it will still make weird noises. It'll go like
it's trying to get out of the bag.
And go.
Hi, Kate McManus. Hello, researcher Kate McManus.
It used to scare Jennifer.
Just that it would randomly go off.
We took the batteries out, but that's fine. Now it's fine. We're good. Okay, good. Hello.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello. Hi, Johnny.
Hello,
Excuse
Kate.
me. Oh, good.
Hi, Shelly.
Boy.
Leslie says, not it.
How are you doing?
Who are you asking?
You.
Oh, I'm good.
Except me.
My shoulder is very sore right now. Like, this whole part of me is sore right now. Because, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to fix these blinds behind me. And then I will tell you why this whole part of me is sore. BRB, enjoy my jorts.
Hi, Emily.
Hey, Google, turn on the living room lights.
Sorry, it looks like Christmas orders.
Good job.
That's a little better.
George Jetson. Hello, Leslie.
Yeah, my shoulder is sore right now because I went and played dodgeball last night.
Oh, where?
And it in Little Tokyo. There's a league over there. I went with my friend Annie, and they have
Annie.
it's
not Annie Savage.
No, not Annie Savage. Annie Toe, and we had a great time. It's not about getting hit. You know what made my shoulder so sore?
Throwing?
Is trying to chuck those balls. Yeah. And I connected out of, I think we played 10 games, one throw connect. I actually got somebody out in one throw in one game out of 10 games.
That's good, right?
I am very good at dodging. I'm terrible at throwing.
There you go. Yeah, that's you got to figure out. You got to get in where you fit in. Surviving is
apparently sidearm. That's the move.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to.
I'm going over like it's a baseball.
Well, I in college, I was playing racquetball, and in racquetball, in tennis you use your full arm, right? You use your full arm, body, follow through. In racquetball, you're just supposed to use this. It's really just this, maybe up to here. Mm-hmm. And I went for an overhand, and I went like this and popped my shoulder out of its socket. And then in jerking back in pain, it went back in, which was very fortunate.
Hey, but, that's good.
I'll tell you, the Syracuse University Health Center, the Student Health Center, is not helpful at all. They're like, yeah, that looks pretty bad. There's no you should have an MRI. You should see if there are any tears, because I'm pretty sure I did damage that's sort of long lasting. I think Hodgman identified this is why your back is bad, or the whole area up to your shoulder blade.
Judge Dr. Hodgman.
Yeah, I think it was.
I do have to disc golf
our New York show, at one of our New York shows. Oh, you haven't disc golfed before?
I've never disc golfed before. No, but I've gone to a golf course that has disc golf because that's like the cage with like
It's a basket
chains, right?
with chains.
It's a basket
yes.
made out of chains. There's a golf course in LA that is on a landfill.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, it's the cheapest golf course to play in LA and the only one that I have played. Or one of two, sorry. I played one out in Fontana with a buddy once. But this one is like, it's in the city. There is, apparently you're supposed to take, the idea is go beforehand to a driving range and just steal as many balls as you can, was what a buddy told me. He was like, just steal a bunch of striped balls from the driving range, as many as you can. And I realized why. Because there is one hole that is just a path along a ridge. It's like a T, and then a path along a ridge, and then a green, and a deep chasm in the middle of between landfill hills. And
like
if
a
you look
video
down
game.
in that chasm, yeah, it is a lake of golf balls. He's like, and this is where you do the range balls, because guess what? The range comes over and scoops them out every few days from there and takes them back to the range. So
Sure.
you're not really stealing for long. You're just borrowing
How far down to the pit?
miles.
Oh, miles. So you have to go
It's
all the way.
very-
So they're
You
going
can't
down.
go. No,
there
oh,
like
you're
an
not. You're not
excavator?
going into the pit. That's the thing. You're not going into the pit.
But
If
you
your
can't use
ball
a
goes
bowl
in
with
the
a
pit,
basket?
no, you just get another ball. That's why they're like, you'll go grab a bunch because you'll go through 10 balls just trying to get it to the green on this one.
Well,
And that is the maximum of golf that I know.
when you decide you want to play disc golf, let me know, because I've played.
Are you
many
good at
times.
disc golf?
Not good, but I've played it a lot. I have like a full set. I've got the bag. I've got the putter, mid-range, drivers. I've got all that stuff.
Wait a minute. Disc golf.
Disc
You're
golf,
using your
yeah.
hands though, right?
Yes.
Aren't the putter and the mid-range and the driver, or what are they, just different kinds of gloves?
No. It's the discs are different. You have like a different type of disc that's more aerodynamic to fly farther, whereas the putter is a little bit heavier and has like a rounded edge, like a normal frisbee you'd get at like a drugstore.
The disc
so
itself.
that's
It's not
made-
the same disc every
No,
time.
the discs are different. Yeah, no, I've never worn a glove while playing.
Oh.
By the way, I should point out, or either of us should. This is a town hall. We're trying to do these once a month.
Yeah.
It's not an episode. We're not settling topics. We're just talking to one another and to you. So if you have questions for us, like not topics, but questions about the show or about anything we've done, this is
Or
our chance to
trivia
talk.
questions.
Or trivia questions, or just feedback on episodes, stuff you liked, stuff you didn't like, stuff you want to hear more of. So
I love that. I'm not good. I just play a lot is an
Yes.
absolute mood. Yeah.
I played a lot in like, I don't know, 2002, 2003. That was like my heyday. 2001 through 2003 is my heyday for playing disc golf. And I played it all over La Mirada, Pasadena, Long Beach, like any course I could find.
He's been everywhere, man. He's been
everywhere.
everywhere. Here's my problem with disc golf is I can't throw a frisbee because I never know when to let go. You know what I mean?
I can help you with that.
I would love that because
I can teach you to throw a
either
frisbee.
let it go way too early and it goes that way, or I let it go way too late and it goes way out. That's usually more of what it is I'll do this and I'll fling it and I'll wait too long to let it go and it'll sail off to the
You'll
right.
throw it like, yeah, there. You're not yes, you're not releasing at the right point. We can work on that.
Thanks.
It's
And as
easily done.
Kate says, the world's okayest tap dancer. Things can just be fun. So Hal, I will teach you the 3 tap dance steps I know. If you
I would
teach
love
me
that.
when to release
Sure.
a frisbee.
I actually I'm a little sore as well. I've got a lot going. I feel like I should start talking about my medical stuff. I haven't talked about it ever publicly ever.
Yeah.
But then when I saw Hank Green's tweet, I thought like, oh, that's good that he shared that. If those people, those who don't know, he has Hodgkin's, a highly treatable form of it, but he's gonna have to go through a lot of stuff. So I've been pondering it. Maybe I'll talk about it a little later. For now, I will say I went and played basketball this morning. Jennifer, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthier. I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on outside of the stuff I haven't talked about. I think I have talked about the other stuff.
Yeah.
But part of that is, hey, let's move for 30 minutes every day. So we went. Jennifer has a membership at our local Y, and I went as a guest. and we went into the gymnasium and played basketball. It was like open. The gym was open, like for anyone to play, but no one was there. So it was just the
Right.
two of us in a giant gym. And for 30 minutes, took shots, like passed, ran around. I was out of breath immediately, but I forgot how much I love basketball, not only watching, but playing.
Well, you were
And I
the
haven't-
basketball. You were like the basketball guru of the Joko cruise we went on. Every day's basketball day was Hal Loveland basketball with Hal.
Yes. And I was not good at all. Craig is a much
You
better
don't have to be
basketball player
good.
than
That's
I
what,
am.
as we determined before.
Yes.
We don't have to be good at any of this to have a good time doing it.
But I want to be better at it because
Yeah.
I love it so much. So I've been watching, especially the past few years, TikToks about like shooting in particular and like proper form. And for those of you who don't know, your elbow's supposed to be in when you shoot, and I had a tendency to have this elbow out, which is my shooting arm. So I like it was never on target. But I started using that stuff and shooting a lot better. Like I was able to sort of self-correct, and it made me realize, in addition to how good a workout it was and how good I felt afterwards, that like, oh, this is something I would enjoy getting better at.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
gonna.
I
I'm not
highly
gonna
encourage
try,
everyone to go and listen to our episode with Sydney Benner about what's the best exercise. We talk about all kinds of from the gym. We did it live at her gym where she teaches.
Yeah,
And
studio.
the ultimate victor, fitness studio. Sorry, the ultimate victor of that episode is my preferred method of workout, which is just dance, baby.
Dance.
Just dance.
Feels
Get up
good.
and dance like nobody's watching. Or as the way I pulled these blinds kind of half close, I'm like, dance like somebody could if they wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody asked about my Disney trip. Johnny asked about April Disney trip. It was great. I had a great time. It was, I've mentioned this to you, Hal. I don't know if when the trip was planned, my dad was like, because we do these trips every 4 months, 3 times a year. My dad and I go to one of the Epcot festivals. It's our favorite thing in the world to do. Love doing it with my dad. And I don't think he realized it was my birthday when he set the date of the trip. And I was just like, it's fine. I have plenty of, I've hopefully, God willing, have plenty of birthdays ahead of me. I've got plenty behind me. This will be a great one to spend with my pop at Epcot. And then he was like, oh, I invited my octogenarian neighbors. And I was like, okay. So it was a very different Disney World experience. Slower paced, didn't ride a lot of the roller coasters. A lot of, let's try that bench to see how the assorted benches were. But it was a lot of fun. And also Duncan used to be a merchant marine, his neighbor who's 86 years old and filled with stories. So if you're going to go to a Disney park and not really ride much, and it's mostly about just walking around and having the festival and checking out the sights and sounds, do it with an 86-year-old ex-merchant marine who has lots of really, really fun stories. Yes, this was my weirdest birthday yet. When he looked up at a painting and went, I got one of them. And he was serious. Like $100,000 painting. Imagineering does have, they have perfected benches. They've perfected trash cans.
Yeah, very comfortable.
We got to get you to Florida House so we can ultimately do that episode.
Didn't you say last year around your birthday, we were talking and I was like, what are you going to do next year? You were like, if I could choose just 2 things to happen, one would be my father to forget it was my birthday. And 2 is to go to my favorite theme park with extremely old people who don't want to go on anything. So your dreams came true, both of them.
It's amazing that both of those dreams came true. Here's the fun thing about Duncan's wife, Rita. And I love them both. They're both very kind. Rita has this hilarious habit of wanting to try a bite of whatever you're having, hating it, and then judging you for getting it. So if everything was like, what'd you get? What is it? Well, I'm going to try a little bit of that. Oh, that is awful. Just awful.
Remind me when you met them.
Once a couple of years ago.
But
now Terry hangs out with them all the time, my stepmom. So they're all very close. I have met Rita maybe twice. Duncan,
you're
I've gone out with a few times.
you're new to this,
I'm new. Yeah.
and it went from I've met you maybe once or twice to the other person going, let me try some of your food.
Yeah.
That's not okay. I don't care how old you are or how young you are or where you're from. There is
Yeah.
a level of relationship
Yeah.
where the polite thing to do, this is for everybody out there who thinks like, that's fine, we're all sharing. You don't know that. You don't know.
Mhm.
You have to wait for the other person to offer. Now, if you've known each other for a while and established a longer and closer relationship, then you can ask to try it. And this is not me. I've definitely changed since I've had to take all of this medication that has basically wiped out my appetite, where I can't
Mhm.
where this is like Jennifer's golden age. She's like, we can split everything. I was like, yeah, we can. I can't eat all this. You're gonna have some. But like you just don't know. You don't know how anybody feels about it.
Yeah.
It's very selfish. It's truly very like it, honestly, even your impression of it, my gut reaction was, I don't like her.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's lovely. I don't know
She's
her,
lovely.
but that's
Yeah.
not nice.
There is, I don't know if it is a Southern thing, if it is a Florida thing, or if it is a generational thing, but there is a mentality that I'm glad that is waning. And it's the mentality, just like generally putting it out to the rest of the world of, oh, you're fine. You know what I mean? That mentality drives me crazy. Let me try a bite of that. Well, actually, I'm not comfortable with, oh, you're fine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that applies to so much of life and our culture right now and everything that is happening in the world. And that mentality drives me crazy because it assumes there is a baseline of fine that everyone has agreed upon.
Well, and also that nothing is that big a deal. They are the arbiter of what is and is not a big deal.
Yeah.
So
this
it's a
Emily
very,
is right. Hello,
Yes.
Emily. Nice to see you. You do. I will go when we take our ultimate trip that we do still need to take so that we can do the Disneyland versus Disney World episode of our show, or which park is best episode. When we do go down there, I would love for it to be during the Food and Wine Festival, which is my favorite time of year there.
Well, and the best part about going to wineries with me is I will drive.
Yep.
I'll drive you all day, all night. You can have as much wine as you want. You don't have to think about anything. I'll just drive around because I like visiting pretty houses and farms, and I eat the little pieces. Oh, here we go. Here's a picture. Here's a question from Avery. Let's see. Go ahead and read it out.
All right. Hey, Mark. What's up, Avery? Lenore City guy here. Question: Knoxville Pizza Buffets, Pizza Inn, or Mr. Gaddy's in Farragut? Come on, man. I am from Farragut, born and raised. Mr. Gaddy's was where we had. Not only was Mr. Gaddy's the pizza buffet where we had all of the birthday parties for the kids in my grade and era. It was always at Mr. Gaddy's or Putt Putt Golf. But the beauty of Mr. Gaddy's was they had the buffet and then they had the kids' room. And the kids' room was the enclosed glass room. So it was just like, go nuts, kids, be as loud as you want.
Yeah.
And they had a giant TV. I think it was a screen, actually, projection. And that was what and they played all old stuff. They played all old comedies. So not only did I thoroughly enjoy the pizza at Mr. Gaddy's in Farragut, Mr. Gaddy's in Farragut introduced me to Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd, The Little Rascals, and Looney Tunes. And so it is the perfect place.
When you said comedies, I was like, oh, it's so great. There's a bunch of 6-year-olds. They're watching the Philadelphia Story. They'll be out in about an hour. They're going to have a lot of questions. But we let them out through the back, so you have to go pick them up. Once they go into the tank, once your kid's in the tank, that's where they are, and then they leave.
Yeah,
You
it's a
can't come out
one-way
from the
door.
tank.
Yeah, no. It's one of those, it's like a subway revolving thing that has this.
Yeah, you can't come back through. Yeah, you are completely trapped. And also, they can't even pop out to go to like tell you something that happened because they will yell.
Yeah.
They've been in a room with other kids, all of them yelling. So when they come out, their instinct is gonna be to fight the noise and beat it. But they can't do that here. They're in the tank.
Yeah, it's like going
Meet 'em
to
in
a
the alley.
library right after you've gone target shooting. And you've still got your headphones on. I'd like to check out this book. Avery also wants to know, so Turkey Creek, when I was there, now I sound like the back in my day, but Turkey Creek, which is now a stretch of, I don't know, it's like car dealerships and Chili's and Applebee's kind of stretch.
It's a breeding
Knoxville.
center.
Yeah.
Those are breeding centers. That's what they're called.
Really?
Yeah, to move out here, have kids. We got cars. There's nice like apartment setups. There are homes for young families. There's a Chili's. Now there's like a BJ's. There's a Costco. Like all the different pieces of like here are the chain restaurants, so it all feels familiar. They've all got the same like brown stucco kind of feel to them. And that's like you show up. I went to a place in Arizona that was like that. I was like, oh, this is a breeding center. They're literally trying to build a town, and they're trying to entice people to come out and be comfortable.
There's a lot of Turkey Creek was no, to answer your question, was not there when I was there. It did spring up out of nowhere as a breeding center, which it's a phrase I'd never heard, but I loved. When I was a kid, Turkey Creek was where we went to like shoot potato cannons. But because you grew up, Hal, you were a city. Well, you were in the suburbs, but you grew up in the Northeast, which was a lot more built out than the Southeast, or definitely the West. As far as like in the great history of our country, the area where you were didn't need to be a manufactured town, right?
No, I mean I was in the Northeast neighborhood of Philadelphia the early part of my childhood until I was about 8, and that was like concrete everything, row homes. Maybe somebody had like a little patch of grass with a tree on it. Yeah. There were like 3 trees I think on our block, and they were all just like in different people's yards. But we would drop down into what was an alley for one of the other streets. You would drop down in there, and that would be the perfect place to play like wall ball and stuff.
Yeah. What do you drop down into the alley?
You would have to climb over a fence and then drop down a brick wall to get there. And then you'd have to climb back up afterwards. And there was definitely broken glass there almost all the time. But that was like, it was like the tail end of that dangerous 1970s into the 80s.
Yeah.
Like kids can just sort of go anywhere because that's what you do. And in that neighborhood, that was all you could do. You couldn't, like, the nearest park was too far away to get to by bike.
You know what mentality was prevalent at that time?
Oh,
you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, I had a mother that didn't want me to be far away from her at the mall because she was convinced somebody would stick me with a needle and knock me out and kidnap me. Like that was how like for years, I thought exclusively that was how it happened. You went to the mall, you got separated from your parents, you felt a needle go in somewhere, and then next thing you know, you're in the back of a van. And I'm sure it has happened that way.
Sure.
I'm sure it's happened. But
dude, that just makes me laugh because that was how Father Chuck got kidnapped at the end of season 2 was I took a needle to the neck and was thrown into the back of a car. And I'm like, yeah, it's terrifying.
See?
All right. You know what? We have a mini topic.
Okay.
Hal, we have a mini topic.
I haven't been on Rise of the Resistance. I haven't done it.
I'll tell you right now, there's a correct answer to this.
I know
Star Tours Smuggler's Run or Rise of the Resistance is the best ride I think Disney's ever made.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard that
many
times.
It uses every ride possibility that, like, it uses every version of the technology that they have in cool ways. It utilizes the cast members in cool ways. The animatronics are all super smooth, so they look real. Yeah, it's great.
I would assume that the order would be Rise of the Resistance, then Smuggler's Run, because there's nothing cooler than being in that initial loading area after you've gone through the queue, after you've watched Honda. I can't remember the character's name. Pardon me.
What is it?
Hondo something, or Honda.
There's
something.
There's a Star Wars character
Honda
whose
CRV.
name you don't know.
Once Honda CRV shows up and talks to you, and you go into the actual, like, the Sabak table, you're like in the Millennium Falcon. You are walking into the film set, and it is a religious moment for Star Wars fans, and that's really hard to. The experience of the ride is fine. It's really cool if you're up front. It's a little bit less cool if you're in other places, but also you're in the cockpit, like you're in the Millennium Falcon. That's a really, really cool experience. Star Tours is neat for what it is. The original Star Tours is cool. You can find it on YouTube.
I
if you want
love
to see
it.
the original one.
Back in the day with Paul Rubens as the robot, Rex.
Yes.
Yeah. Or as the droid. Sorry, I don't want to get my nomenclature wrong. He's not a. I was waiting for Ken to put in the chat. It's not a robot. It's a droid.
Mm-hmm.
What's a cool new thing in your lives? Well, thanks for asking, Leslie. Hal, what's a cool new thing in your life?
I'm taking a little bit of vacation for the first time in a very long time. I'll be off for 5 straight days. Of course, 2 of those are Saturday, Sunday, and one of it is a day that the office was already closed. But I'm looking forward to that and wondering what that's going to be. Outside of I have a doctor's appointment. This is the 3rd week in a row I've had a doctor's appointment on a Friday. But outside of that, I'm looking forward to having time and figuring out, maybe we'll go somewhere on like a day trip, or that's exciting. And then I'm going back to Philadelphia in mid-June for 5 days. So that's cool. And I bought a new Star Wars toy that I'll have early this coming week.
Yeah.
That's the cool stuff for me. What about you?
Dodgeball was very cool. I enjoyed dodgeball. I enjoyed having my brother-in-law and sister and dad and nephew visit town. And a cool new thing is I'm going to be not only uncle to 3 nephews, but I'm about to be an uncle to my first niece, which I'm very excited about.
Oh.
Yeah, Gina's having a girl at the end of
wonderful.
the summer. Yeah. And she has already decided on the name for her daughter and has told everybody, so I'm not blowing up her spot. So I think this is great. I have a brother, my older brother, Gabe, is a huge Bears fan going all the way back to the 80s. My sister is a huge Tennessee Vols fan, and because of her love of one particular Tennessee Vol, she later became an Indianapolis Colts fan and a Denver Broncos fan. So I am going to have a niece named Peyton. My brother, the Walter Payton with an A era fan of the Chicago Bears, of course, she says, guys, I'm having a girl. We're going to name her Peyton. And Gabe's first question was, with an A, right? And she said, no, with an E. I'm not naming her after Walter Payton. That would be silly for me to name my daughter after a running back. No, I'm naming her after a quarterback.
Can I tell you, this will be the second girl that I know whose name is Peyton with a Y, and also the second Peyton with an E, rather. The second Peyton with an E who is named after Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, who's the
future
first?
Hall of Fame quarterback? Somebody I know through Jennifer. Nobody you know, just another.
Fair. My Andy Goldenberg has a son named Peyton with an A.
There you go. So all around sweetness.
Avery, I love these 865 questions coming.
By the way, this is just becoming Tennessee Forum. Go ahead.
865, for those who don't know, 615 is the area code for Nashville. The East Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, home of the Vols. We got our own area code when I was a kid, and we were all very excited. And they, I don't know who the powers that be are, let Knoxville, I guess, decide on what they wanted their area code to be. And 865 was available, which of course spells out Vol. So East Tennessee's area code is Vol, followed by the phone number. I've been the mayor of Main Street. Does my retirement plan include becoming the mayor of Dollywood? Avery, I've got you mentioned Hank Green before. There's a crash course civics lesson that I'd love for you to watch about how mayorships and elections work. If I'm going to become the mayor of Dollywood, I'm going to be duly elected the mayor of Dollywood.
Are you going to run?
Yeah, I'm going to run.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I would vote for you.
Thanks, buddy. I'd vote for you, and then our votes would cancel each other out.
Yeah. People are giving us clean slate topics. This
I know,
is not
right?
a clean slate. This is not a clean slate.
It's not a clean slate, but
Do you like funnel cake though? Let's just talk about funnel cake.
Yeah, I like funnel cake. How many times a year? No more than one for me. One funnel cake a year feels like plenty.
If that.
Yeah. It's such an indulgence that I feel guilty eating it. Yeah, once a year is perfect.
You're really just using it to get powdered sugar into your system.
Yeah, and whatever the berry compote is.
Yes, if you have that, it's really just like you're using fried dough to deliver something else,
Yeah.
which is also a donut. Really, like donuts don't have great flavor in and of themselves. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of sugary texture to the inner workings of a donut. It's what's on the outside, or having a plain donut that you dip in something. But funnel cake is also like it's never. However much you enjoyed it the first time, you'll never enjoy it that much again. Don't chase that dragon.
The diminishing returns on a funnel cake are so fast, even from bite to bite on this. Like you get that thing and it comes out. I mean, I working in theme parks for years, you see some elaborate, beautiful funnel cakes, and it's you get that funnel cake and then mountains of whipped cream and berries and all this stuff, and you take 3 bites and you're like, I'm full and diabetic now, so
Yeah, this
I'm
is
gonna
gross.
go lay down.
Yeah, gross, oily.
Hi, Ken.
Yeah. Hey, Ken.
You know what I do love though? Have you guys seen pancake spaghetti? You basically make it like
Yes.
you would a funnel cake, but not in deep oil. You just do it in a pan. Yeah. So instead of making full pancakes, just do little swizzle spaghetti, pour syrup over them. It is great.
I've also seen the very small pancakes where you make them like almost like a cereal, and then you put them in a bowl with like with like syrup and maybe even a little milk,
Yeah.
and eat it. And that's fine too. I get it. They're all delivery systems. I everyone's so creative. It's great.
I love her.
Yeah.
From Shelley, seen any good theater lately? You saw Aladdin on Wednesday and seeing West Side Story in a few weeks. Is that in New York? Where are you seeing these, Shelley? Forgive me for forgetting what part of the country you're in. Aladdin's amazing.
Chicago.
Chicago?
Shelley's in Chicago.
Great. Tour company of Aladdin's coming through LA soon. What have you seen? Have you seen anything lately, bud?
No, the last thing I saw was a stand-up show that Jennifer did a couple weeks ago.
Oh, right on.
Carter did it. I'm sorry.
Carter
Carter
did,
was
sorry.
there. And it was great.
That's funny. How many times do you make things about Philly? Let Mark have his Tennessee talk. Thank you, researcher Caping Manus.
Why are you policing? And also, you misspelled Philly. You spelled it like the team.
Like
I
the
very
fanatic.
rarely talk about the Phillies. I will though.
Theater-wise, I saw a great play starring Austin Highsmith Garces. And that was fantastic. It was a new play by the guy that wrote Sideman, about a historic thing that I didn't know about, which was the first black airmen in World War II and what their lives were like when they came home. I don't remember the name of the play, but it was very good. Yeah, and Sunday in the Park with George at Pasadena Playhouse was brilliant.
Oh, is that going on right? I keep thinking like I'm out near like a pretty good center for the performing arts. Just haven't seen anything there.
You've got Thousand Oaks is not far from you.
Yeah. I'm not far from there, so
Wonder what's playing there right now.
I don't know.
There's some East-West players is doing it.
Ken, will you look it up?
Yeah.
Will you tell us what's playing at the Thousand Oaks Center for the Performing Arts?
Yeah.
And we won't look it up, promise.
We will need to do a best form of fried dough episode. There's so many.
We'll do that at some point. That's a good one.
I mean, it'll eventually wind up being Jews versus Italians, right?
As everything is.
Yeah, it'll be
culture
Zeppeli versus Blintzes, right? Those are fried dough.
Blintzes?
What's the best Italian fried dough? I think is a Zeppeli. What's the best Jewish fried dough?
Sifganiot, the jelly donuts we do at Hanukkah.
Oh, those are good. Yeah. That was so fun the day that I was going to a Seder and I was like, I was going to a Passover Seder and I was like, Hal, I need you to be my dessert guru. I've been tasked with bringing a dessert. I'm in a Jewish bakery right now, and we FaceTimed in a Jewish bakery, and he was like, okay, these are good. Oh, yeah, that one, maybe not that right there. That's not really for this holiday. Yeah, that's always there. This one's a special occasion thing. Mm-hmm. That was fun. So I appreciate that.
I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, right now, Ragtime, Cinderella, and Oliver.
Ooh.
Those are all good choices.
Those are all great. Have you ever seen Ragtime?
No, I saw the episode of Encore on Disney Plus where Kristen Bell reassembles the high school cast. I don't forget how many years later it was of Ragtime, and it made,
I saw her on the
made
line
me interested
yesterday.
enough to want to go see it.
It's a really good play.
You saw who?
Shout out to Kristen Bell, walking the line. out
Oh,
in
you saw
front
her walking
of.
the line. Oh, cool.
We were at Netflix, and to no fanfare. It wasn't like she was there posting and taking pictures and doing all that.
Yeah.
She was just out there in her sneakers, pounding the pavement. Is pounding the pavement work, or is that only if you're out there selling something?
No, I think it works. You're working the pavement at least. Yeah, you're pounding.
Yeah,
You're walking around on it. Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to all the members of the WGA right now. I got your back. We got your back.
Yeah,
I'm not going to speak
100%.
for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do as well. Mark, this is a good question. I'll ask it for you from
Okay.
Nixerbo. Mark, drunk history question. Did you have more fun narrating or appearing as JFK? Which of those was more enjoyable?
They're very different. Appearing as JFK was just one day on the set and seeing, like, it was in a building that had like all kinds of cool sets in it. So there's like an office set, a White House set, a jail set. It was all just a cool building that had all this in there. Fillion was there, so it was fun to see him. Derek was there, and Craig and Benny and the whole cast was all there. So to be around the cast and see it happen there was a different kind of fun. That was a really fun day just to spend with everybody. But I had one line. It was just a cameo pop in. As far as doing them, those are really, really fun when they start, and then the end of the night, I never remember. But it's a different kind of fun. I would say more fun narrating, just because I get to be in a little more, have a little more to do.
I would also assume, and everybody who did that show, the reenactors were brilliant. They were all great, not just the people that we know. And that is not easy to do at all. But I mean, really, like the repertory players that did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would imagine that you probably get recognized more from drunk history than someone who's a repertory player, because they're constantly in different costumes. Like, I'm sure they might get recognized for it, but the people who tell stories, it's a lot more. You remember that person a lot more.
Yeah,
because the other people are trying to.
You're hearing the whole time too.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Craig is such a standout. They're all brilliant. But I've seen people come up to Kukowski and just be like, "Oh my God, you're that guy from Drunk History." Because A, he has a unique look. B, he's perfect on that show.
So good.
Yeah.
He's the greatest.
Niblick the Third says, my favorite new musical I've seen in an age has just transferred to the West End, and I love it so much. What musical is it? Operation Mincemeat. I will have to check. I don't know this.
Some sort of a World War II thing, I would assume. Maybe not.
Yeah. Or it's a sequel to Sweeney Todd. Wait. Bret the Hitman Hart was playing the genie in Aladdin in a pantomime play in the late 90s. Was it like a British panto? Is that, or like he was like, I'm assuming you mean like proper British, like, let's fill the show with celebrities.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen a panto before, Hal?
I don't know.
It's a very specifically structured British like pop culture oddity that is a fairy tale mixed with some celebrities and a couple of songs, and there's always a weird number with a ghost, and yeah, they're really fun.
Sounds like that's what this was.
Yeah, Nigel Lithgow does them here in LA, and like and gets NPH did one a couple of years ago, or I guess before the pandemic. But yeah, lots of big stars like to come and do them. They're really fun. Yeah,
sounds fun.
You had beignets at Disney, and they were amazing. I had beignets recently at the Jazz Kitchen. Have you been to the Jazz Kitchen?
No, where is it? Is that in Culver City?
No, the Jazz Kitchen at Disney.
Oh no!
So when you go through downtown Disney, the Jazz Kitchen is like a New Orleans themed restaurant.
Oh, that's the sit down restaurant.
Yeah,
yes, I've eaten there. I had the Monte Cristo there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I'm upset now they've changed it. They got rid of the piano and the stage at the Jazz Kitchen. So mad about that. Now it's just a restaurant that's called the Jazz Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Oh, here's a good.
talk.
Here, wait. I'll assume I'll take over for Avery Krause. More Tennessee talk. Did you ever get to Ogle's Water Park in Pigeon Forge? And do you remember why it closed, or at least the rumor? Ah,
Not only did how do you forge a pigeon in fire, Leslie? You forge a pigeon in fire. Not only did I visit Ogle's Water Park, I loved Ogle's Water Park. We used to take a trip there every year with my school, but also I did commercials for Ogle's Water Park for the radio, where I got to inform everybody about the new Twin Twister, which is over 8 stories high. I don't know what the rumor is as to why it closed. It could be something with the Ogle family in Pigeon Forge, because there's the family's into some shady business when there's Ogle's Water Park, Ogle's Pancake House, Ogle's Towing. And you're like, okay, for one little town, every business is named. It might as well be Boss Hogg's Water Park. Like, we know what's happening here.
Ogle's Pawn Shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Ogle's Police Department.
Yeah. Yeah. Ogle's City Hall.
Ogle and Ogle, attorney at law.
Yeah. Did you have was there a Philadelphia family that had their names on a million things?
I can't think of anything. I'm sure a number of families that have their names on a lot of things.
Sure. Or have their names scrubbed from a lot of things.
No. I thought you were going to ask about water parks. I was trying to think of that. But the water parks that we went to were in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
You had like Wild Water Kingdom, which is near Dorney Park, which I think is in Jersey.
Did you ever go to that scary one?
Action Park?
Yeah.
That's in New Jersey. No, I never went to Action Park. I remember Action Park existing.
That is
but,
so wild.
I never went there. For anybody who doesn't know, there are great documentaries about it. It was a water park, like a sports and action and thrill park that was just, everything was dangerous. There was like a Tarzan swing where you just swung on a rope out over water and jumped
a chasm.
in. There was like a luge thing where people would fly off the track. Like the brakes didn't work and it was just too fast.
There was a slide that was designed, like a water slide that was designed for you to get airborne.
Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
a straight up ski jump, but water slide.
It was like if you let a 6-year-old design a water park and then the adults didn't change anything. They said, no notes. We'll build it just like that.
Yeah.
So people got hurt. People died.
That's sad.
You know, it was called Traction Park, Class Action Park. The guy who owned it was kind of a weird guy. I think he wound up going bankrupt, but it was definitely a cultural touch point for people in the tri-state area, because that's like a New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania kind of thing.
Are those the 3 states? When people talk
That's
about
our
the
tri-state, that is the tri-state area that I grew up with. I think everybody has a different tri-state area. California doesn't have one because we're too big of a state. What was yours?
We didn't have a tri-state area, really. I mean, because I was in East Tennessee.
Maybe that's the only tri-state area that's really talked about. I've not heard of others.
People talk about the tri-state area. I think of, unless it's Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, but that's not, the 3 of them don't meet. They're just all 3 on Lake Michigan.
Yeah. No, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, because you can drive from Pennsylvania. For any of those states, you can drive directly into the other 2.
Oh, and yes, Nick's. I don't know if I'm supposed to say Nick Sorbo, like it's a cool alien name from Star Wars.
I said Nixerbo.
Nixerbo, or if it's Nix or Bo. That's our topic.
That's what we do next week.
Yeah. Yes, we hung out on set. I love hanging out with Kikowski. One of the joys of the Thrilling Adventure Hour, I'm sure for you too, Hal, is all the friends we made along the way. Kate McManus. Are we all saying our favorite musicals? 42nd Street.
42nd Street. Ken, you want to come on and talk about when you were in 42nd Street in high school? Didn't you do 42nd Street?
I want to hear about you doing 42nd Street, Ken.
You don't have to come on camera. You can just be a talking voice.
Aren't all voices talking voices?
Not all of them. Some are silent.
That's fair.
Come on. Come talk about it with us.
He left. He's not here anymore.
He could very well. No, I see him. See him. He's not coming on. Just turn your camera off and come on. You can be the. He's just looking, shaking his head. He was in. Were you in 42nd Street? Is that correct? Thumbs up if that's correct. Oh, there we go. Covered up. I didn't think he was there. I had to come back and look because I've been looking at this full screen.
Hey,
what do you want?
look who's here.
Were you
do
in
you
42nd Street? Is that
Yes.
true?
That was my senior musical, the only musical I was in high school.
And who did you play?
Played Abner Dillon, the kitty car king.
I love it.
Amazing.
I've
I
seen
was the
video of it.
funder of the show. I'm the one who, I was the sugar daddy.
I was going to say, yeah, you showed us the clip from it. You were like
the clips are still online if people want
you're
to
like
find them.
the gentleman that they all have to impress in order to make the thing
Gentlemen
happen.
with my undersized cowboy hat and jacket, plaid jacket and bow
Like-
tie.
Like
I
the
think
twins
of-
on the small bikes.
Oh
Let's
my
make everything
God.
too
You know what's something you
small.
find, or I found in high school?
What's that?
Costuming wasn't really suited for plus size folks.
Nope.
Costume was also apparently not suited for region because you were wearing a cowboy hat on 42nd Street.
Well, remember, I was from Texas.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Was
you
it
were
Texas
saying-
or no? It was Ohio? One of the two. Either way, they put me in a cowboy hat and a blue
Texas?
plaid.
Or it was a Texas cowboy hat or an Ohio cowboy hat. I don't remember.
Saying the production was very loose.
Look, man.
Although
the number of costumes we wore, anytime we did Shakespeare or any like period piece as kids, it was just, well, buy a giant shirt and wear a belt over it. Now you look old timey because
Well,
now it's a tunic.
you can tell me if this was not something done. The director insisted that we use the Broadway choreography
No, that's of 42nd
of
Street
42nd Street.
in a high school.
We had a massive amount of dancers, of which I was assigned
What?
when I tried out on a dare with a friend.
Amazing.
Should not have been put in the chorus or asked to dance. And then I was made understudy for Abner Dillon. And this was
Then you beat him in the knees.
no,
like-
this was a
murdered
kid
you.
who was in all of the previous musicals
Mhm.
Hmm.
and was upset for his senior year that he didn't get a bigger role in his senior year musical and dropped out. At which
Yeah.
point I was then informed that I was now the lead.
You're on, kiddo.
All right. How were you?
There are clips out there.
And he's great.
I will say that
Um,
I had to do a kick line, and I had to sing a line solo in Lullaby of Broadway.
Oh, your absolute nightmare.
My
What was the
absolute nightmare.
line? Do you
The
remember?
rumble of the subway trains, the rattle of the taxis.
The
then it
daffodils
goes into
who
the rest of the
entertain
Chris.
at
Until
Angelo's
the
and
dawn,
Max's. Yeah. I would say, if we're talking, Kate wants to know our favorite musicals. I'm gonna say the one. I know it's. I don't care. I know a lot of musicals. I love a lot of small boutique ones. Don't care.
say
Les Mis is
Phantom?
my number one.
Les Mis?
Les Mis is still my number one. I've
Yeah.
seen it a dozen times. I will
Love it.
turn it on at a drop of a hat. I love it, love it, love it. I think it's brilliant. It is heartbreaking. It's beautiful. Ride the Cyclone. Ooh,
I assume that's
gotta
about
check out
Coney
Ride the
Island.
Cyclone. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Les Mis a lot. I like both Hamilton and In the Heights. I think they're both
Yeah.
really smart and very original feeling. When I saw Avenue Q, that was like a
So good.
creative like flashpoint for me. So I'll always hold that close because I had I was not a huge fan of musicals, particularly in college, because I spent maybe 90% of my time with musical theater majors.
Yeah.
And one of
You
my best
are
friends in the world,
insufferable.
still to this day, Steve, still one of my best friends in the world, was like, we were watching Phantoms, like anything that was on or around, and I just wanted, like, I'd rather watch like Glengarry Glen Ross. I'd rather watch Waiting for Godot. I'd rather watch Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
Yeah.
I don't understand the point, or this is me back then, the point of like, I've never been filled with so much emotion that I had to sing something. And that a lot of that is a young, dumb guy, young, dumb person. I'm not going to say this is just guys who's like, I'm staunchly not for this because I think they're all A, B, and C. And then over time you realize like, oh, well, I really enjoyed this show. I really enjoyed that show. Different things. I enjoyed the spectacle, not necessarily the music or plot of Starlight Express when I saw that.
I feel the same way about Cats.
Yeah, like Les Mis I saw in high school. I was blown away by.
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera also great. I appreciate it a lot more now, and I think more in terms of like how much fun it would be to do a musical and how much fun it is to watch it well, and going back and like growing up watching the film adaptation of Guys and Dolls and then watching, I never got to see the was it the 92 or 94 revival?
93, I think. Yeah.
93, 94, yeah. But I've listened to the entire cast album and I've watched the clip of Sumi, of them performing Sumi,
Yeah.
and the way they turned it into a scene is maybe one of the best pieces of performing I've ever seen. And I actually think about that a lot just in doing any kind of work, is the way
I
they
don't know
were
that
able
I've
to
ever
take.
seen that.
Oh,
It's
you
Nathan
can
Lane
find
and
it.
Faith Prince, right?
Yes, both of whom won Tonys for that.
Yeah.
And they took what's really a nothing song. Even if you watch the film, it's really just sort of like it's more of a showcase for Frank Sinatra to be like the so me.
So me, what can you do me?
The director and the two of them figured out a way to make it a scene. So his performance of everything, it's not just like Adelaide. It's everything's a different color. So it's him trying to get her attention. It's him being worn out. It portrays in a much better way the idea that this song is about a relationship that's been on a merry-go-round that she can't stand and he can't control. But if like, just go with me this one time, I'm done no more times. It's so well done. So I have a much better appreciation for it now.
Now I need to go online and find this. I just watched yesterday, actually, on TikTok, a clip of Walter TK Bobby doing "Sit on Your Rock in the Boat" from that production popped up, and it's wild to see like J.K. Simmons and and Nathan Lane and like all these Broadway legends that were in that show.
And what is his name? Peter Gallagher.
Peter Gallagher was Sky Masterson in that.
Yeah, he's great too.
It's funny that in the movie it was Brando and Sinatra, two of the coolest dudes ever. Yes. And on Broadway, it was smooth Peter Gallagher and Nathan Lane.
It's a much better take on the character, though.
And it was such a fun take. He was brilliant in it. Can we look at getting another trivia night, says Leslie. Yeah. I love trivia night. I'm down for another trivia night.
Maybe the next one of these we'll do trivia.
I'd love that. We'll do trivia version.
Yeah, maybe. We don't want to commit to anything. That's a lot of work for Ken.
That is.
We just get to show up and answer questions. That's really Ken's prep, but
it's a story about. This is Ride the Cyclone. A story about teenagers who die on a roller coaster and they get a chance to come back to life. It's a comedy. It sounds to me like Final Destination, the musical, which I also would 100% watch. Les Mis is one of your least favorite. Talk through musicals annoy you for some reason. I get that.
Oh yeah, there's no it's just singing all the way and no real dialogue to speak of.
I like that. For me, I like that it's that you get the honestly, I think the emotional stakes. It's like having an emotional stakes cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Less miserable, more miserable. Am I right?
That's what Hamilton is. Hamilton's a talk through. They're just rapping. I mean, it's songs and rap, but there's no
paragraphs instead of lines.
Everything serves it. And I really like something I don't know why I never caught this. Is the bit in the first cabinet meeting,
the rap battle
at the very end is a reference to The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
What? Make me wonder why I even bring the thunder? Yeah,
because it's such a wonder, keep me from going under. The ha 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 ha. That's all from.
Yeah.
That is a very specific call out to that, which I didn't. I know it's full of references, but I just listened to Grandmaster Flash the other day.
Did we watch Schmigadoon and Schmicago? I haven't watched Schmicago, but I loved Schmigadoon.
I started Schmigadoon and it said I love everybody in this, but I am out on this premise because there was something about it. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 episodes in and I was like, this is not, I think I'm just not the audience for this. And I get it, but I just couldn't hook into it.
I liked it. While we're talking about, hold on a second. I'm going to get back to this theater thing in a second.
Yeah.
I want to know. Both of the contenders in Best Apocalypse Shelters were the trap options. You want a ranch in Montana where you can grow your own food with nice open sight lines. Get out of the population centers. All right, that's fair.
I'll be in Costco with all my medicine. I'll be the pill king of Las Vegas.
Yeah, I feel like
And that's saying something.
I feel like if you're in one of those locations, you can still live in 2023. If you're going to a ranch somewhere, you might be safer, but you're suddenly living in 1823. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, oh, that's great. You're doing Putnam County Spelling Bee at the Laurel Park Playhouse. Patrick, break a leg. Have a great final weekend of shows. And
break a leg.
Yeah. And
have fun.
Kick some butt and have a good time. That's what it's all about. I'm going to grab something real quick that is you mentioned something being a flashpoint, a cultural flashpoint for you, or a personal flashpoint. I'm going to find the play that did that for me. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. Normally Mark is here and I talk with him. This is exciting. We're trying to do these once a month. I don't know if this is the first time you've come or the second time or you've been missing them, but we're trying to. Normally, this is something we do more around the time of Max Fun Drive, but we've been saying we want to do more. We want to give you more content to enjoy. So that is why we're doing these. So please tell people. And if there's a better time that works for you, maybe we'll do a poll or something on Facebook and figure out if there is a time when more people are available, because obviously we're picking a time that works best for us, and we're always going to have to work around everybody's schedules. But the more people that we have who are actually here to watch it, I think the better. Although I'm happy to have everybody here who's with us today.
Amen. Okay, this is the play. This is the play that changed my life. That was the reason. I may have talked about this on the show before. That was the reason that I moved to New York. Was when I saw this play, Peter and the Starcatcher. This is the big version of the script. Because I had never seen, and I love really theatrical stagings and imaginative stagings. I have a couple of examples of things from it. It was basically umbrellas, ropes, trunks, and ladders, and that's what they made Neverland out of. This is their version of the crocodile, which is 2 bowls, 2 flashlights, and some of that triangle ribbon that they hang over car dealerships.
Yeah,
that was how they made the crocodile. But there were 2 moments in the play that just floored me, and they were when one character turns to another and says, "I don't want you to leave. It'll hurt too much," and she says, "It's supposed to hurt. That's how you know it's important." That got me, and then this line got me as well from this, my favorite moment in the play. Where did it go? There it is.
Things are only worth what you're willing to give up for them.
Isn't that a great line? That line, I was watching it with my friend Lee, and something about that line just hit me. Waterworks, moved to New York like right after.
Also a great slogan for eBay.
When exactly did I learn the truth about invisible corn?
This is a Night Vale reference.
I know what it is.
I just wanted to make sure.
I know it's a Night Vale reference because I think the Night Vale fans, the Cloudheads, what do Night Vale fans call themselves?
Not that, but
Night Vale fans infiltrated an online best John
bracket. You won Best John,
and I won Best John Peters. The farmer. I have a big bowl of invisible corn in front of me right now. I'm gonna pop it and watch a movie later.
That sounds good.
Well, what else we got?
I think we're about at time.
Alternating.
This is about
times.
it.
Yeah.
This is about it for this one.
Well, thanks all the people of the world for coming out, because this is yes, we can mess around with times on this. I have no problem.
Yes, that's what I was saying before you put the headphones back on. That we'll maybe put a poll up or something to see what times are good for everybody. So if we find a time that works for the most people, we'll do that. We'll try to be flexible with it as much as we can to accommodate as many people as possible.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for being here. This was delightful. Thank you, Ken, for putting this together and for, as always, doing all of the work, and Hal doing all of the work. And I just reap the benefits of it with you guys. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us today. This was a lot of fun. Hal?
Yeah. Thanks to everybody who showed up to watch. Thanks to everybody who continues to listen. The best way to help our show outside of the drive just on a regular basis is to share it with people in any way you can. If it's sharing episodes online or whatever, that's appreciated. If you have not yet given us a review, that stuff still helps too. So if you're able to go give us a review wherever you listen to your podcast, that might help alert other people, because we want more of you in here. We like all of you. We would like to meet more people like you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Amen.
That's it for now. We'll see you in a month, and you'll hear us before then.
And that leaves us only to say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin, and don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.